Hello, welcome to this new video. We are going to create our first database in SQLite, and we also going to create a table. Okay, so very easy. For creating database, you can click this icon or go to the menu and add database. SQLite database are stored in one file, so you have to browse for existing database if you want to open a database you already created. But in this case, we are going to create new database file. So let's say this is one database I have already created, but we are going to create a new one. So I don't know, example, something like that. The name is not important. Save. So SQLite will create this file and the name you will see in the list is example. You can change the name if you want to. I will keep this name and okay. So you have here the databases. If you can have more than one. In this case, we have this one, and we have to connect to the database first. It's like open the file and you can work when you are connected with the database. So first connect to database, and now we can see two more options are displayed, tables and views. And today we are going to create a table. Okay, right click here and create a table. And now here you have the this new screen. Okay, so here you can create a table without the SQL statement. SQLite will generate the DDL command for us. So first of all, here you can establish the name of the table. You can write down the name. For example, let's say restaurant, and we are now in the structure tab. But if you want to see the DDL that SQLite is generating, you can change to DDL tab, and here you have something like this: create table restaurant. You are not allowed to write here because this is the way that you create a table without writing. You don't write the statement. Okay, later I will show you how to, if you have a statement for create a table, I will show you later how to execute that statement. Okay, but in this case, this tab is a read-only tab. Okay, this option of here without row ID, I'm going to check it. So now we create the table with a row ID. Row ID is something that, as far as I know, it's only an option that SQLite have. If you have this unchecked, SQLite will create a column for the row ID. Row ID is like a number. It's a number that is used to identify each row that you have inside a table. But in other DBMS, other databases, different databases, don't have this option. So I'm going to I'm not going to use the row ID, and we are going to create a primary key. Okay, primary key, okay, is a column. So at column, the name is ID and it's a primary key. Primary key is like a row ID, but is own row ID. We define the name, we say that it's a primary key, and here a very useful option is auto increment. Auto increment, every time you insert new data, every time you insert a new row inside the table, the auto increment will calculate the next number for the primary key. For example, the first row will have the number 1 because it's the first, the second number 2, and so on. So this option is very convenient. And look this message. We say that we want a primary key without increment, so SQLite said that integer type is the type that you have to use for this case. So okay, and now we have here the first column. This table have now only one column, the ID, and we can define all columns that we want with this option. The DDL is also outdated with this line, so we are going to create more attributes. So let's say a restaurant have a name, okay, the name of the restaurant, and the data type is like a container. The data type for the primary key is integer because the ID is a number, an integer number. In this case, the name is a char, is a string of characters. So the best option we have probably is varchar. Varchar is a type that can hold variable strings of different size. You can specify here the max size that you want. So let's say 100. It's very difficult. The name of a restaurant have more than 100 characters, so it's okay in my opinion. So something like this, and we have name varchar 100. Okay. Next one could be, for example, plus code, something very useful for if you want to look for the place, the restaurant in Google Maps, for example. Use the plus code, and if we save the plus code of restaurant, it's very easy to search more information about the place where the restaurant is in Google Maps. The plus code is also alphanumeric, so we need a varchar again, but it's something that is shorter than the name. So let's say 50 characters. Imagine we have the information about the price of the restaurant, the average price, so people can see how expensive is the restaurant. So average price in this case is a number with a decimal, with a decimal part, because we can have the average price in euros, for example, or dollars. So let's say it's a decimal. Okay, we have here decimal, and now notice that here we have two fields and the comma. sorry guys. I said that here we have two fields. We already used this one for the bar chart, but now we are defining a decimal, so we have a integer part on the number and a decimal part. So if I put something like this, 2 and 2, the meaning is that this number will have up to two digits for the integer part and other two for the decimal part. So something like this, you can have numbers like well, from 0 to 1999, and you can have the same for the decimal part. So if you want something very important that I don't want to forget to say is, if you want to have more information, to know more information about data types, I will let you in the description of the video the official documentation of SQLite, so you can revise, for example, the decimal or the bar chart and other data types that you can find here. So in this case, average price decimal, okay. And the last one, for example, let's say that we want to show the information that the restaurant maybe have wheelchair access, or maybe not. It's something that could be true or could be false. When you have something like that, and that information, a column that can have only two states, the best data type for this is Boolean. The Boolean, okay. Boolean can have the values true or false, okay. So this is our first table. This is how it looks like. Now we can say the statement, okay. So you know that the statement we can edit, but in this case there will be the final statement, because we don't want more columns or more change. So we have our ID, that is primary key and increment, and the other columns. Now we have to validate this statement, okay. The table, you can't see the table here because the table hasn't been created yet, so we have to validate the table. We can do that with the check comic structure change, and when we press this, well, sorry, if we have the auto increment, we need the row ID. Sorry, we have now an error. So in the status screen, so let's close this and check with our row ID, and now maybe we can create the database. Okay, something like this is okay. We won't have errors, and we have a prompt like this. We can don't show again this, but I think it's a good option to see this, because you can see here the same statement we have in DDL tab, and if you are in agreement with the statement, okay, you just have to press OK, and the table now will be created. So this is the previous error, and now you can see here that the table was created successfully, and we have the table here, restaurant, and all the columns, Okay, and now well, I'm going to clear this uh, the last one I want to tell you is how to create the table. If I have this, imagine a friend or someone give us the statement, and we have to create the table, but we already have this code. We already have the statement of creating the table. In this case, we don't need to use this screen. So let's say that we don't have the table, okay? Because if I try to create the table again, the SQLite Studio will raise an error because the table already exists. So I'm going to delete the table first, okay? And let me to 1 second. Okay, here, open SQL editor. Okay, so now you can write here a query or a statement in SQL. So I paste the statement of creating the table, and if I execute this statement, the result will be the same or very the same. The message, I think the message is different, but the result is very the same because after executing the statement, I have here my restaurant table with all my columns. Okay, so you already know right now how to create a table. You can do with the help of SQLite, or if you have the statement, you can execute the statement and the table will be created. So that's all for this video. I hope this video will be useful for you. If you have any question, you can write it in the comment section, and see you in the next video. Thank you so much.